Virgin Galactic news this morning. As an investor, are you happy? As you know, we covered the earnings and we put out a poll and a video saying we wasn't happy with Virgin Galactic, and you've been actively sharing that video and that content. I can see it all over social media. This is not good. Now, Eric Kearney will tell you, we're okay with the share price of Virgin Galactic now down 171. It's okay that the stock's going to go sideways for a while. I'm okay with that, but it shouldn't be here. It should be $4 or $5. Absolutely. I don't know what's going on, and they're refusing to promote the stock. They're refusing to do buybacks. Many things they're making mistakes on. If we're not careful, the competition will take over and Virgin Galactic will suffer. This is not acceptable. Now, why am I showing you a green studio? Well, because Eric Kearney will say we're okay with it because, that it's a downtrend for the general economy, and no, it's not. I'm up, and as you can see, I'm up on the year as well. It's been a green year. I'm up 15.5%. So it's been a bull market now for a year and a half. I don't know what the heck he's talking about, but what do you think? Are you happy with this? You might want to share this video out as well, because I am concerned. My passion is my viewers and my audience and Virgin Galactic being successful, but I think the board should be fired. I think they do a rubbish job. And this is just ridiculous. There's no way that Virgin Galactic should be this low. We've just had successful earnings. Everything was looking good. We even beat on earnings. I mean, flipping it, what do you need to do with this stock? Look, this is what happened. If you covered the earnings with us the other night, we've continually gone up, beaten in expectations, beaten on earnings. I mean, it's all good. So why is the stock being allowed to go to nothing? Now, I still believe in Virgin Galactic. I just don't believe the board are doing the best thing for the shareholders. They might be doing what's best for them to drive the stock down so they can own the whole thing. I don't know what the point is, but it's not right. It's not right. This stock needs to be at $4 now, and with volume and with the amount of short interest it has, it could definitely short squeeze. So let me give you the numbers exactly, so you've got the numbers, the actual numbers to go on when you want to get into the argument about what Virgin Galactic are doing or not doing. The intrinsic value at the moment is at $2.87. That isn't completely reliable because we don't have DCF valuation because Virgin Galactic don't provide it. We haven't got that extra content to add into the system to do it. But even so, we are at least $2.87. Remember, we are anything under $2 is undervalue of the actual value of the cash on the books, so it's ridiculously cheap. You've also got an S-curve about to kick in. We're up 40% on the most recent range, and we've got an S-curve, a huge S-curve coming for 25, 26 expected. Operating income is improving, up 8%. I mean, look at all this. Everything about the stock is great, apart from the price. They don't seem to care about the price. Look at the balance sheet, 1.2 billion in assets, just 674 million in liabilities. If we look at the long-term debt, 417 is long-term debt. But when you consider they've got 1.2 billion in assets and 874 is cash, the company are in an amazing position. Absolutely amazing position. Solvency is 42%. They're absolutely not going to go bust, but the profitability is low. Well, that's fair enough, and they're not doing very much. But look at the upside. 207% upside with Wall Street. The short interest, there's no buying in. No one's buying the stock. I don't know why they're not buying it at these prices. 21.8% short interest. All we need is volume, and the stock will go up, and it'll do well, and we'll get a short squeeze. Now, we just had some latest news here. Let me read it.
Positioning itself to be a key player in space tourism. For a deeper dive into those results, let's bring in Michael Leshak, Equity Research Associate Analyst at KeyBank Capital Markets. Michael, good to talk to you. We have seen a pullback in that stock today on the back of these results. What's the big headline for you coming out of the results?
Yeah, thanks for having me. That's a good question. So there certainly is a pullback. It's typical to see some volatility surrounding earnings results, but for us, we look at the long-term story, and we think that Virgin Galactic's doing a great job at positioning itself well to be a leader within the space tourism industry. So
Agree.
today, they've successfully done 6 commercial launches, space flights to space in the past 6 months. And when we look at scaling operations, it's going to take their Delta class spaceships, and those are in development and production right now. And we see them coming online in 2026. So for us, it's really the long-term story that remains in focus.
Agreed.
And you highlight specifically that the company's still on track to operate its first or final commercial service flight in the second quarter of this year. You talk about space tourism and where Virgin Galactic is positioned. How big is that market?
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions on how big that market could be. But right now, it's you can look at their backlog, and they have ample demand really for the foreseeable future.
True.
The market could be significantly bigger than what we have today, but again, there are a lot of unknowns around that. And I think it's just important to focus on the supply-demand imbalance here, because there's not a lot of people, if any, companies that are doing what Virgin Galactic can do. And there's quite a few people in their backlog and more that want to buy tickets, and ticket sales still have yet to reopen. So that's an important watch point for Virgin Galactic.
You've got a price target on the stock of $1.90 a share. That's kind of right where we are, $1.80, a little pushing a little higher than that maybe. I mean, it sounds like this is kind of the range we're likely to stay at based on the case that you're making here. What do you think is the biggest risk to the company right now?
Yeah, so the biggest risks to the company today is not being able to execute on the Delta class spaceships over the long term. They're in the design development process right now with them, and they need to be able to hit their milestones, which is right now they're looking to do tests on Delta class in 2025, and then bring them into commercial service in 2026. Our view is that we think that they have the right team in place to be able to accomplish that. So we think it is possible, but that would be the risk for downside in the stock. In terms of where it's at today, we're sector weight on it. And we just think it's more of a timing game when we get more visibility around some of the milestones that they have with these Delta class spaceships.
Michael, another stock that we're watching in space, related to space.
That'll do. So what do you think? Nothing really new there from Yahoo Finance at all. We know all of that stuff. The sentiment on the stock right now, as we look at over the last 90 days, we've got 35% negativity. Over the last 30 days, it's 30% negativity. 7 days, 36%. And today, we have no news at the moment. So are you happy with where the stock price is today? They did great on earnings, beat again, consistently going up, consistently doing a great job, but no talk of buybacks, no talk of how to elevate the stock, no talk on trying to promote and bring ahead some celebrities onto the flight. I just don't understand it. It's not about being impatient. I'm perfectly, I'm perfectly happy to wait and have patience. I'm building my channel. I've been live for the first 2 years. I didn't make any money. I go live every day. I am passionate. I'm passionate about Virgin Galactic, and I'll put the time in, and I'll work, and I'll wait. But I just think that the board are doing a terrible job, particularly Eric Kearney when it comes to investor relations. I think they should be fired, quite honestly. What do you think? Leave me your thoughts below. I'll post this video out and put a poll. Do you think Eric Kearney and the investor relations is doing a great job? Do you think the investors are happy? That's all I'm saying. I mean, with the stock is too good to be at this level. What do you think? When I put this out, I'll put a poll out. So click above my head for all the links, down below in the description. Over here, continue the conversation 24 hours a day. When I'm off air here, we've got the behind the scenes channel where you can continue having a conversation. I'll give you the link to that as well, and you can be part of all of that. And I'll put all the videos and the bits and bobs over here at the side, and you can do that. If you click below here, you'll find our two channels. You'll find the investor channel, and of course the investor extra channel as well. Go and subscribe to that for extra content. And when we have two events at the same time, we broadcast on both channels at the same time, the different events, so you don't miss anything. Plus, you've got the 24-hour conversation. All right, that's it from me. What do you think of all that? Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.